Alright, what is up, guys? And we are going to be discussing Slayer versus Colossus. So, I've had a lot of experience with both of these talent trees so far. I started an early beta with Slayer, played with that for quite a while, switched to Colossus, and I was having so much fun with the burst. It actually felt really fun to play Colossus. But after I saw a few inconsistencies, I did go back to Slayer, and I think this is what I'm going to be sticking with for the foreseeable future. Some things I saw with Colossus is on certain targets I was having trouble hitting a full demolish, even with my stuns and trying to set it up. Some classes can just get away so easily, Shaman being one, and some classes are just pretty tricky, hard to make them stand still for a whole burst, especially when you're trying to put out a demolish on top of it all, which is the ability that you have to channel. So that's probably the major thing that I was like, oh man, this doesn't feel as good anymore when I miss these demolishes and kind of mess up my whole burst and my setup. Where Slayer, it's kind of hard, it's to impossible to mess up your burst as long as you set them up correctly. It's way harder. I wouldn't say impossible, but definitely way harder to mess up your Slayer burst. The damage actually comes easier. I mean, you literally don't really need to think about a lot of this stuff, and the damage just comes with your Slayer Strike. I mean, that alone is doing 300,000 damage. There's so many different ways to buff up your normal attacks. Like if I just hit my dummy here for a second, let's see what we can do. First of all, you get this no matter what, the Executioner's Precision. But with the Overpowered, I'm getting such big Mortal Strikes. Sharpened Blade, hit this up, get my Overpowered up. Almost a million right there just with one Mortal Strike. So it's crazy DPS that comes pretty much by default. You're getting sudden death almost all the time. It feels really good because you can hit huge executes like literally almost all the freaking time. It's amazing. You're buffing up your overpowers, which is an ability that you spam a lot, so you're getting even bigger overpowers. You can see I did my Slayer Strike there, so I literally did like 300k with my overpowered, then 300k pretty much back to back with my Slayer Strike. So overpowered 300k, Slayer Strike 300k. Oh, did another overpowered. There might be another 300k hit. So you're almost doing a million DPS just with overpowered alone, which is kind of insane. Yeah, and just icing on the cake with unrelenting onslaught. You're giving yourself a cooldown with your blade storm. I mean, there's this, and you can use pummel and storm bolt while blade storming, which isn't like crazy. Honestly, it's actually really good. It opens you up for more flexibility on how you want to go about some bursts. Maybe you're in the middle of a match and things are getting a little close, so you want to burst now, but your cooldown or your stun's like 5 seconds on cooldown, but your burst is ready. You go ahead and start bursting. Mid burst, you stun the enemy healer, and that can actually be some. There's a lot of different stuff you can do with it, but that's just like one cool example. It's just more flexible. Things I liked about Colossus, I did like the bigger ignore pains, which is really nice, but again, that's not helping your DPS, right? Literally pretty much every single talent point in Slayer is helping your DPS in some way, which is just so much more appealing. I really like the burst in Colossus, but you're getting so much. Your bursts are more consistent in Slayer, and your overall damage is better, which I think is the most important thing. So, yeah, it was fun with Colossus, and there's definitely its uses for it. I think they're at the end of the day, I think both are viable, and they're so close to one another in terms of viability that I don't really think it matters too much. But I think Slayer just edges it out for arms, DPS, and arena, especially twos. I think Slayer is definitely the way to go. One more thing that Slayer does so much better, I want to say so much better, but does help a lot is right here. Your heroic leap reduces the cooldown of charge by 5 seconds, and the charge reduces the cooldown of heroic leap by 2 seconds. And since you get 2 charges, that's 4 seconds. And yeah, it's only a couple seconds here and there, but that goes such a long way in arena, like especially when you're trying to chase down a mage or a lock who set up his portals. This goes such a long way. Again, doesn't seem like a lot. You almost, at first, I was rolling with Relentless Pursuit, which is just giving you a 50% speed after you do charge. So I thought that would be the way to go. But after, crunching the numbers, and I think someone suggested it to me, and I started using this, and it started feeling so much better. I did originally play with this, but yeah, this is just, again, against mage. I mean, you need to be mobile against like mages and classes like that, and it just helps so much, so much. Let me see if I'm missing anything. I mean, yeah. Again, I'm looking at these talents again. It's good. Like Colossus is really good. It actually feels funner for me to play Colossus, but at the end of the day, ooh, especially this, it gives you meteor blade storms too. Each strike of blade storm deals an additional 20% damage. So it's just here. Let's see if we can hit the dummy for a little bit, and just look at all these buffs that I'm gonna pile on. I'm just randomly gonna hit some buttons. Look at all this. Opportunist is popping. Sudden death is popping. We have marked for execution ×3 already, and that's also getting my Slayer strikes to pop out. Look at that. Huge executions. Now that I executed, I have the precision, so now my Mortal Strike is doing more damage. I have overpowered up, so now it's doing even more damage. Sharpened Blade, let's pretend that goes on. Kaboom. That would have done pretty much 1,000,000 damage right there. Then we're going back to execute. Oh my god, look at that. We're pumping up our shit. Hey, let's Blade Storm. And Blade Storm is also gonna give you what's it called? Blah 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 blah. I forget. Oh yeah, right here. Each strike of Blade Storm applies Overwhelm to all enemies affected, increases damage you deal to them by 1% for 20 seconds. Plus, let's see, where is it at again? This is the last thing I'm going to talk about. If I can get it to pop. Just hit some buttons, hit some buttons, hit some buttons. Come on, where is it at? Oh, it's not going to pop up. Why is it not? Oh, here we go. Your next Blade Storm will strike 1 additional time. That is, like, literally crazy, bro. So it's just, like, all of these things working with each other to just give you easy DPS. Like, you don't really got to think too much about it. Like, yeah, you do want to set up some big attacks. Sometimes you do want to hit your overpowered twice if it's if you can do it, Obviously, sometimes you just want to go for the big bursts and, not set everything up so pretty. But, dude, when you can set it all up nice and pretty and you use all your buffs together and you kind of have a better idea of what you're doing and what synergizes with what and what to press before what you press and how many of this or that's do you want to stack up before you hit a huge Mortal Strike. Like, the DPS is fucking crazy, man. Just a quick flash on my talents that I've been using. I've been going back with taking out the Thunderous Roar cooldown by 45 seconds and putting it into, Warlord's Torment so I can get better bursts. But it's so hard to decide which one I want to do. Honestly, I've just been going back and forth with those. I just have this in here because I was fucking around with it. I wouldn't really recommend this cooldown. I don't think anyone is really rocking this. But I was going against locks and I throw this on just to see if I notice anything with the curses. I can take the curses off me immediately. I don't think it's really worth it. But it was just fun to mess around with for a second. So I probably put this into Shattering Throw or Thunderclap. What else? Over here, let's see, what have I been doing? Anything different? Nothing really different. I think this is all pretty meta stuff that you could find on like Icy Veins. There's not a whole lot of flexibility on this side of the talent tree, to be honest. You can find ways to get exhilarating blows in here. Take away, I don't know, like, you probably take away fatality, but again, I mean, this is just giving you bigger executes on top of your already insanely big executes. I think some people switch this talent out every now and again. I don't want to. I like having it in there. It just feels really nice. But I guess you could for exhilarating blows. Switch this over here if you're only doing single target damage. Yeah, I mean the one thing that you do mess around with, I guess, is literally just taking this out for single target damage. Other than that, there's not a whole lot you want to do on this side of the talent tree at all, to be honest. This one's more fun. You can mess around with a couple cool things. You know, take the speed out and throw it in. I mean, you can take second wind out, throw it into thunderclap. You can take thunderclap off. You can take bitter immunity off. Always probably. I had this in here for experimental reasons. Honestly, I would put the point somewhere else if I were you. Um, yeah, I just wanted to go over just in case people are wondering how, a couple of these talents and why this is better than that, instead of just like going on icy veins being like, oh, everyone's doing this or everyone's doing that. I think icy veins is actually telling people to go Colossus. I forget, but that's just an example. I just wanted to give a more breakdown, uh, detailed video saying, hey, this is why I'm doing this. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video and kind of informed you about something. Not really the most informative video, just kind of a heads up saying like, hey, I'm playing Slayer. This is why I'm playing Slayer. Maybe I'll do a full breakdown video of all these talents and kind of go over like why you're using this and what the benefits are. I'm not sure, but peace.